Miss Papa Bear, I'm true to this and not new to this. Here with another enlightening video to help you on your trucking future. Another thing for rookies or greenhorns or whatever you want to call the newbies out there. Don't follow GPS blindly, because GPS will mess you up from time to time. Everything's not perfect out here on the road. You have to use a little common sense when you're following these GPS routes that they give you on your Rand McNally or whatever you're using at the time. I'm more familiar with Rand McNally. But you can't follow it blindly, because it'll run you into a dead end somewhere. When you lose internet connection, because that runs off of internet too, or satellite, and when it starts going around in circles, especially when you're in cities or out somewhere real rural, it'll start buffering. It'll start going around in circles, taking you around in circles. That's why you have to have a regular map book. That's your backup. You got to have a regular map book. Up-to-date map book, not something arbitrary from 10 years ago, because everything's changed in 10 years. Get you a regular map book. Use that map book in conjunction with your GPS, okay, to get you where you need to be. Because sometimes all the roads have not been mapped out yet. Everything hasn't been mapped out. And the map book might be more up to date than the GPS. You just never know. But get your map book, open it up, and go to where you need to go. Start from the beginning. If you're not familiar with map books, start from the beginning and learn how to use the map book proficiently, in case that's all you have. Map books are good things. I know it's a little more work, but in my first 10 years of driving, that's all I had was a map book. And that's why in the times before I got out there, that's all they used was a map book. Unless you were local and you knew the area real well. So the old ways still work. Use that map book if you need to. Have it right there in the pocket on your other chair, and you can just break it out anytime you want to. Okay? Another thing, check your trailer height. Okay, you got a fifth wheel, and your fifth wheel is so high, but you only allowed 13.6 on your on the height of your trailer. Now, if you got 22.5 tractor tires on there, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be at the right trailer height. But if you got 24s on there, you might be an inch over. Now, of course, you also know that when you get loaded, that reduces your trailer height by about an inch or two, depending on what you're hauling down the road, okay? But pay attention to that. If you got 22.5s on your truck and trailer and drive axle and steerings, you're pretty much going to be on point. But if your drive axle, not your drive, but if your fifth wheel is higher or sits higher, or makes your trailer sits higher than 13.6, you're going to have a problem, especially when you go into places up in New England, like New York, and a lot of the height says 12.6. You might be running into a problem. But in New York, I found out it'll say 12.6, but it's actually 13.6. And you can actually get up under there. But don't take my word for it, because I could be wrong, okay? And then you'd be in trouble. So don't take chances, okay? Make sure you got your route down pat before you get out there. Call the facility if you can, if you got a number. I don't know why they don't have numbers where you can call the places that you're trying to go. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But nobody wants to be called. They just want to charge you for being late. Okay? Yeah. If you can get a number, go on the internet, get a number, and call somebody, anybody that works there that can give you directions into that plant or facility or that distribution center or wherever you're trying to go, so you can get the right way to get in there. Because somebody knows. Okay? Yeah. And I'm stressing that part because I've been there. You know, and next thing you know, well, we're gonna have to charge you $200 for being late, being 15 minutes late because I couldn't find the damn place because the GPS took me around the circle, or I couldn't get through because it was a low 12-6 sign on the overpass. I couldn't come that way, and I had to go back and retrace it around and find a way back through. You get you a map book, okay? Make sure you know your trailer heights. Make sure you know the route and the height of the bridges on that route. All that's in the map book, the big map book, not the little bitty bullcrap one, the big map book, okay? The $50 map book. Get it? Trust me, it'll save you money. It'll save you time, too. Make sure your weight is right on your trailer and your truck. Make sure your fifth wheel slide, if you got a sliding fifth wheel, is in the right position on your trailer. Okay, for the weight distribution. If you got too much weight on the back, on the tandems, okay, you might have to slide the trailer back on the tandems to distribute the weight to go forward on the drives, so you can get it right. Okay, it's not hard to do the slide or to move the weight around once you're loaded. You got 44,000 pounds. It's not hard to do as long as all your equipment is greased and well maintained. It should slide pretty easily. Okay, you should not have to move your fifth wheel if it's in between your drive axles. If it's in between your drive axles, you should be golden right there. Okay, you should be golden. All you got to do is move the tandems, move those back and forth to get it where you want it to be. Don't make that harder than what it has to be. Okay, and get confused. There's nothing confusing about it. Okay, you allow 12 on the steers, 34 and 34. Real simple. Just a matter of a few numbers either way. Okay, once you get your first readout on your weight, then you do your math. And it shouldn't be no more than maybe 1,000 pounds or maybe a couple of thousand pounds in either direction. A few hundred pounds to a couple of thousand pounds in either direction. Shouldn't be much with 44,000 pounds on the back. You still allow some. It's about 73,000, somewhere up in there. That's not bad. Okay? Pay attention to how much fuel you get. Okay? You can fill up both tanks and have about 2,000 pounds worth of fuel, depending on how large your tanks are. Okay? All right? Pay attention to that. Sometimes you really at that 44,900, you might just fill up one tank. I've done that. Okay? It'll equal out. Okay? So save yourself some wear and tear and getting an overweight ticket because you're overweight on the fuel. These are things you have to pay attention to. Don't ignore your weight, because those tickets can get really, really high when you get to that weigh station and they tell you to come on, pull on in, and you're overweight on your tandems, or you're overweight on your drives, or you're overweight on your steers. It's easier to shift that weight off your drives to your tandems than it is to get it off your steers, believe it or not. Okay? When you get to the shipper, don't argue with them people, because they got you by the short hairs. Okay? They control the ebb and flow of freight going in and out of that facility. You get in an argument and you want to give attitude and all that foolishness, you're going to be sitting there a while. Okay? It's not that serious. They want to have an attitude, they have a bad night out or whatever. That's on them. Don't let it reflect on you and how you perform your job and when it's time to get out there and go to work and you mad getting in the truck. As somebody you probably won't see for another year or two. especially if you're over the road. I've been playing one place, and I got there, had a problem. I didn't see them till another 5 years. 5 years later, I saw them again. And they were still there. Okay, they didn't remember me, but I remember them. Okay, but their whole attitude was different then because they didn't remember the incident because they see so many drivers every day. Don't let one single incident affect your whole day and how you operate your truck. When you get in that truck, your mind should be on operating that truck, getting it from point A to point B as safely as you can, not confused with a whole lot of anger issues. Let it go. That destroys the soul and destroys the mind. You need to let that go. Don't hold that kind of stuff in your heart. Don't get overconfident. I'm the greatest driver in the world. I can do this and I can do that. Nobody can outdrive me. Trust me, there's somebody that can outdrive you. I guarantee you it is. Okay? So you're not the greatest driver in the world. You're a driver. You could be the greatest driver in the world to yourself by what you do and how do you handle your business out there in that truck from point A to point B. You don't have to prove anything to no one else but yourself. Okay? And what you do on the road as a driver reflects in your career. It reflects in no tickets, no accidents. Okay? Interaction with shippers and receivers. How you deal with your dispatcher. How you handle things. Cool head will get you a long way than a hot head. Hot head will get you stalled every time. Especially if you get a reputation for being a hot head. That's not smart. You're just stalling your own progress. Just maintain your cool. It's not that serious. It's just trucking. It's life. Life is like trucking. Trucking is like life. You never know what's going to happen the next day. There's always something new. And that's how life works. As anybody that's been out here for a while. For you newbies, y'all will learn that. Maintain your cool. Okay? Maintain your health. Maintain your thought process. Keep yourself level. Take a deep breath. Walk away. It's not that serious. Okay? This is Papa Bear. Trying to help y'all out here. I didn't have that when I got out here. You know, as soon as I go ask a driver about something, you don't need to do this. You don't want to do this. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't be asking you about it. A lot of drivers, black drivers, telling me this. Yeah. Like they got all the freight in the world. But you realize there's too much freight out here for one driver to handle. Okay? Look at the truck stops. Look at all them trucks. Keep your mind, keep your cool. Just walk away. Because when one person won't answer your question, somebody else will. Guaranteed. Okay? I'm true to this, not new to this. This is what I do. Okay? Y'all have a beautiful day out there and be safe and keep you cool. Peace.